Well, hi everybody. I'm going to be on here. I'm not going to be that long on here today. We've got some stuff I got to go do here in a few minutes. Got to get a shower still. Got to get cleaned up. And wife and I are about to go out and about for a little bit. So I won't be on here for too long, but I did want to jump on here and quickly share the weather information with you because I know the thoughts are, hey, is it going to snow this next upcoming Tuesday? I think that the answer to that is yes. It's going to snow somewhere. It's a very tricky forecast, and the reason why it's a tricky forecast is we currently don't have cold air in place, and the storm system that's moving across the area is going to have to generate the cold air in order for us to get it. And it's probably a situation where we have to have heavy precipitation in order to cool the atmosphere enough for the rain to change over to the snow. Regardless of that, at least we're looking at moisture. I mean, it looks like we'll definitely see rain and probably some snow too. And without further ado, let's try to get into it. Let me see here. I'll try to do some NFL stuff out of this yesterday too. So give me just a start. Give me just a second here. I thought I had some stuff set up in here, but I do not have some stuff. So I'm going to have to set some stuff up in here. So give me just a second here while I put something in here to be able to show you the information that we need to be able to see. So give me just a second here. There it is. Give me a second, guys. And I'm trying to grab this and drag this to the bottom, so you got to give me just a second to be able to do that. That will probably work there. So let's go with that there. All right. Let's go with that. All right. So this is the computer model, and the one I've been following is a couple of them. I've been following the GFS. I've been following the European computer model. We'll start with the GFS, and we're going to go to another one called the NAM, the North American model. And somebody asked me, what does GFS stand for? It's the Global Forecasting System. It's just a computer model. Of course, this is the 500 millibar chart. It shows our storm system. That's this morning. So that's pushing on through. Now, what a beautiful day it is across the area. Now, here we go. This is going to be this is Monday around lunchtime. And we'll put this in motion. There's our upper air storm system at the same position it was yesterday. In fact, it might be a little bit further south too. Yesterday it was showing this as being up across closer to Midland, Odessa. This has a storm system itself at 12Z or Tuesday morning around 6 a.m. south of El Paso. So it has shifted a little bit further to the south. Here we are by Tuesday afternoon. Notice that storm system crossing central and north Texas there into southern Oklahoma. Remember, you want to be on the north side to get snow out of this. And it's like I told you yesterday, this is such a strong storm system. Maybe a touch weaker today, but not that much weaker. But this is such a strong storm system, it's generating its own cold air. There's going to be a pocket of cold air underneath it. Most of the time, it's the cold air associated with these upper air systems is located underneath the storm several thousand feet above the Earth's surface. But if you get heavy precipitation with them, you get so much lift that heavy precipitation starts to pull that colder air down to the Earth's surface. So oftentimes what happens in these situations is you see rain, and then you get that pocket of cold air that comes over you, and it's still raining, and then it gets heavier. You get a band of heavier precipitation, and it drags that cold air down to the Earth's surface, and that rain changes over to snow. So that's showing you the storm system track. It moves over into Arkansas. I'm going to show you something else too in a few minutes. It looks like the weather pattern's about to turn a lot colder too. We kind of talked about this a while back. We thought that late January and February might be a lot colder. So, all right, this was this morning storm system. It's done push on by. Let's go into Monday. Monday itself looks fine. Here we are Monday night and early on Tuesday. Here we are this is called 12Z on Tuesday morning. This is Tuesday morning around 6 a.m. Looks like there's an area of rain over us. This also has an area of snow back across the Texas Panhandle, maybe flirting with parts of Oklahoma and extreme northwest Texas. But look at how quickly the GFS model transitions this to snow. Here we are around 9 a.m. on Tuesday, rain with some snow breaking out on the north side. And here comes the upper air storm system. And look at how that pocket of cold air develops. And then there we go. There's your rain changing to snow across most of Oklahoma and into North Texas. And it looks like there could be a period of pretty heavy snow too with that. Could be a prolonged period of time. And with your storm center itself, your surface low pressure, now this gets real complicated and real complex, but your surface storm system is located at this time across central Louisiana, and it's pumping moisture back into the cold air. So you have cold air, you probably have thunderstorms out in the warm sector, then they move north and they interact with that pocket of cold air and it changes over to snow. Now this you see back in North Texas, that's what we call wraparound moisture, and that would be a wraparound band of snow there. And it looks like it would end on Wednesday evening. GFS, and you have to remember when I show you this is raw model output. Usually it's overdone, especially in this type of a situation. The GFS has about 7 inches of snow in Wichita Falls, 5 inches in the Lawton area. This is definitely lower than it was last night. But this is just one computer model run. But yeah, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Those numbers oftentimes are way too heavy. And with it being what we call a marginal situation, temperature situation, this would probably mostly be on grassy surfaces. It would be a very wet snow, maybe some slush on the roadways, but it doesn't look like this would be a major impact system as far as travel goes. That's just the way it looks right now. I can flip over and quickly show you the NAM model. Like I say, I'm going to have to go here in just a minute, but I'll show you the NAM model real fast. I'm not going to break down the storm center itself. I'll just show you the precipitation. This only goes out for a little while, but it too, by Tuesday morning, really has that storm center cranking. And it has, a good bit of snow over southern parts of Oklahoma and North Texas. So, all the models are showing this now. I can't go against it. I do see what our weather service is talking about, how it's just marginal profiles, but you also have to remember when you are looking at these types of situations that our computer models aren't going to handle the temperatures well at all. Because this is what's called a dynamical cooling type situation. Dynamical cooling means the dynamics are the upper air storm center. The energy associated with it is responsible for producing the cold air. And then you get what's called a latent heat process that takes over. When you start getting heavier areas of precipitation, you got to think a rain droplet, a precipitation droplet in the cloud, even in thunderstorms, starts out as an ice crystal or snowflake, and it falls to the Earth's surface and it melts whenever it reaches an area where it's above freezing. Well, in a situation like this, the snowflake begins to snowflake, and there's a bunch of them that starts building up. It gets real heavy. You got a lot of lift in the atmosphere. So all these snowflakes start falling down through the atmosphere, and the heavier it gets, the more snowflakes are able to make it closer to the Earth's surface. So as those snowflakes get closer to the Earth's surface and they start getting to the Earth's surface, you start throwing a frozen object into an environment where it's trying to melt. It cools the atmosphere, and it will cause temperatures to drop. Usually, if you get a heavy enough snowband, they'll drop around 30, 31, 32 degrees, and that's enough to allow such slush on the roadways there. Oftentimes, what happens when these storm systems move on by, you wind up seeing the precipitation either end as light rain or temperatures go above freezing once the pocket of cold air and the heavier precipitation begin to end. So that is the NAM. The European model honestly looks the same. Let's see if I can show you that. The European model on this site doesn't show precipitation types, but I can show you the accumulations that it's showing. And this is this morning's run of it, and it shows pretty much the same. Most of Oklahoma and North Texas, but again, these numbers have come down at least a little bit. So trending down at least some, which is probably a better forecast. I still haven't put out an official forecast yet, what I would think would accumulate. Just looking at things, somebody said, throw out 0 to 20, you'll be right. You got that right, I would be. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I'd get my forecast right more often if I did that. So, but anyway, that's what we're looking at least from the computer model standpoint. Not a lot of change, maybe just a little bit weaker this morning than it was yesterday. I was going to show you this before I left. Excuse me. This is showing you that same 500 millibar chart again. This is showing the upper air storm systems. And of course, we're not just looking now at the one on Monday. I'm looking at out ahead. Now notice how our flow of air has been moving across the Pacific and through the U.S., southern U.S. That's why it's been so warm this winter. But now look at this. Our flow of air is out of the north. And notice this all these big bright colors you're seeing now. That's coming out of Canada, and how it's real stretched out. That's your polar vortex, and that's pulling that cold air out of the Arctic region. So you're probably going to start seeing some colder temperatures across parts of the country as we head into late January and early February. I don't know that will make it all the way into the south, but it certainly is possible that it could. And matter of fact, there even could be even more chances for wintry precipitation. I've always said that that you get winter precipitation chances here in this part of the country during the months of February. That's our main one. This is the European. It might be a tad bit weaker too at that storm system too. So, a lot of things can change with it in regards to things. As far as what's going to happen, lots can and will change between now and Tuesday. So, bottom line is we're going to see a winter storm. Some places only rain. Some places get some snow too. Some places see some accumulations while other places don't. That's throwing a dart at a dartboard, right? That's an easy forecast. That's a broad forecast. That's telling me that if I'm a person watching at home, well, he's just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. Well, I mean, it's just so hard to say. I'm pretty sure we'll do first alert weather day for Tuesday, but very, very difficult to say exactly what's going to happen at this point in time. I'm favoring North Texas into Oklahoma for at least an accumulating wet snow on Tuesday. I don't know that it's enough to cancel school. Like I say, the temperatures are going to be marginal at best to be able to provide a lot of accumulations. So what you're probably looking at are accumulations on the road surfaces. So what you're looking at, if everything comes together the way it's looking right now, is mostly slush, wet slush on the roadways, which can cause problems too. And then kind of a wet snow, which is what we need. We need the moisture, so the wet stuff would be good no matter how we get it, right? So rain, some snow, some accumulations. We'll be keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. So I wonder if probably too soon for this. I'm wondering if the afternoon run of the NAM model is out yet. That's the 21st. Here's the 23rd. Is that the 23rd? 18Z. That's the 20th. My bad. Today's the 21st. Just going to take a glance at this real fast before I go. So that's just the NAM model. And I'm just looking at it. I'm not really even talking about it much. I'm just kind of looking at it. It hadn't changed much from the morning run. It's about the same. Just an area of rain and back underneath the colder air. You're looking at some snow. And again, a lot of it also depends on where there's going to be a dry slot too. These storm systems like this have dry air that wraps into the middle of them. And if you wind up getting dry slotted, then you wind up seeing the precipitation come to an end, and your snow is north of you and rain is east of you. And you wind up just getting rain in the morning, and then you wind up drying out. So a lot of variables can happen between now and then. So we're getting an idea. Some parts of the Southern Plains states get snow. Other parts just get rain. Some parts get not much at all. So we'll be keeping an eye on it, and I'll have more updates here on my Facebook Live page in the days to come. Actually, tomorrow probably too, before the Cowboys game comes on, we'll do something. So I hope everybody has a great afternoon. Quickly, is there any questions here? As of right now, I don't know, Amanda, that there will be travel issues. There could be some, but I just don't know that there will be any. Somebody wants to know, will Lubbock get bad? I think Lubbock will get some snow. I think you'll get some down that way. You usually do. You usually do. Ron O'Malley wants to know, do you think this setup will continue going forward? Also, what is an ideal setup for winter weather in Central Texas? Down where you live in Austin, Ryan, you got to have that. You really need that Arctic air to drive way down into Texas. You need Arctic air in place with a storm center to develop and move across. So, kind of in the similar area, maybe even a little bit further south, you need your little surface low to develop out over southeast Texas or down into the Gulf of Mexico. That way you have colder air coming in place, and the little surface low, the little storm center itself that develops down at the Earth's surface doesn't throw warm air back into your area. It has to be southeast of you. And if it's southeast of you, you get the moisture, the cold air is there, and the low itself is passing south of you. So you wind up staying cold. You wind up getting mostly freezing rain and sleet down your way. So it's real complex, but the storm center like this is going to go too far north of you. You got to get the storm center to go further south, and everything has to dig further south, and you really need Arctic air in place down that way to get winter weather in central Texas. So, all right, everybody, I appreciate you joining me here. Remember to follow my Facebook page and my YouTube page. It's pretty simple. My YouTube page is just Meteorologist Ken Johnson. I think it's a capital M, a capital K, and a capital J. Follow me over there. I do pretty much the same stuff there as I'm doing here. I'm trying to develop and grow more over there. Like I say, I'm just not a big fan of Facebook anymore. A year ago, this type of a Facebook Live would have had several hundred people watching it, and now the notifications just don't go out like they used to. And Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, just in my opinion, just screwed a really, really good thing up. Really good thing, and they just really messed it up. So, all right, everybody, y'all have a great Saturday afternoon. My wife and I are headed out to a little memorial service for one of her friends that died a few weeks ago. So we're going to head out to Henrietta for that. And I'll be back in checking weather. Maybe a Facebook Live later on tonight. I don't know.